for match week 11. Well, it started on the south coast. It was Bournemouth that caused a bit of an upset there, beating Manchester United 1-0. We'll be getting Peter's thoughts on that at some point. Arsenal and Wolves, well, it was the points shared. Arsenal, of course, were ahead in that game, but they just didn't manage to hold on to their lead again this season. Aston Villa and Liverpool, an eventful ending to say the least, but Liverpool walked away with the 3 points. Brighton against Norwich. Brighton taking 3 points and keeping a clean sheet. Norwich struggles continue in the Premier League so far this season. Manchester City against Southampton, that again was a close one. Sheffield United 3-0 against Burnley. Sheffield United's home form and away form has been terrific so far this campaign. And West Ham against Newcastle United was a 5-goal thriller. And the day ended, of course, at Vicarage Road. Chelsea taking all 3 points against Watford. Tomorrow we do have some exciting games to look forward to at Selhurst Park. Palace against Leicester. And two managers under pressure as Everton face Tottenham. Well, let's see how the Premier League table looks so far this weekend. Liverpool maintain their 6-point lead at the top. It's Chelsea that climb into third, displacing Leicester, but of course have the chance to climb back into third after tomorrow's game if they take 3 points. Arsenal remain fifth. They only took a point from today, and the table makes great reading for Sheffield United fans to see their team in sixth. Manchester United there, they dropped to 10th. As for the bottom half, doesn't make great reading for Tottenham fans, does it? They find themselves 13th in the table. As for the bottom three, they have conceded 76 goals between them this campaign, which is why they find themselves there. Watford are winless still so far this season. Away wins for Chelsea, that is a club record for them. Let's hear the thoughts of Tammy Abraham.
Very well played. What did you make of the game? Scoring again, and you score away again. The great record for Chelsea away from home.
Yeah, it's always nice to score goals. Coming to this place is never an easy place to come to. I think we dominated the game most of the first half and a bit of the second half as well. You know, Foster made some good saves. We give credit to him and give credit to the boys because they didn't put their heads down and they stayed in the game. But you know, with our mentality, the way we're going, you know, we never give up. Even though it looks like they were going to score last minute, you know, our togetherness kept us the 3 points.
Tell me about the goal you scored.
A few times and it hasn't, but you know, I was ready today. I know he loves his pass, so I just had to stay on side, and you know, it was a good finish for me.
We've seen Chelsea different, like, you know, dominant performance away from home more. Well, what's behind that? Like, we've seen some nerve at Stamford Bridge playing some games. What's behind that?
No, just, you know, I think when we go away, you know, we expect the team, obviously the fans, to get behind them, and we know we have to be on our game. You know, there's no room for error when we come away because, you know, like we saw last 10 minutes, they looked like they were going to score. So we just have to keep focused, work hard, and hopefully we get the 3 points.
Thank you so much.
Cheers. Thank you.
That's now 9 goals and 2 assists for Tammy Abraham this season, and he was instrumental in this match yet again.
Yeah, he was. It was a great finish. Really was a good finish. I think Ben Foster sort of made his decision for him by coming out the way he did. But just to be on his toes like he was for Jorginho's pass was brilliant. You know, staying on side, making that run, and then the finish. You never doubt him at the moment. He's in such a fine run of form.
And of course, you picked out the pass there because that was a great assist from Jorginho for that first goal.
Yeah, it was.
They work on it in training, and you can believe that because Jorginho is actually looking for it, looking. Is that pass on? And it was. But one thing is, the pass is on. The next thing is that's so difficult is actually to deliver it with the right pace, the right weight, and that was just inch perfect. That. And Tammy Abraham, who is a revelation to the Premier League, I have to say, didn't disappoint. He scored his 9th goal, and you know, we can you know, discuss about the goalkeeper here. Does he make up his mind for him? Should he have stayed in? Should he? I mean, the guy's 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper anyway. I think, you know, I think he's done really well there.
In terms of the pass, it wasn't obvious to everybody. Even watching that screen, then we freeze it, and the pass isn't on. You know, what you've got as a midfield player is what's going to happen in a second, a split second or 1 second later. They're the pictures you've got to foresee. That's what you call vision. You know, that's what you're expecting to see. And that's why it was such a great ball.
It really was. So they went 1-0 up after 5 minutes, and then it was Pulisic that got on the score sheet in the second half, but Tammy was the one to assist.
Yes, it was. I mean, Watford could have done a lot more, but let's just focus on Chelsea for now. You know, so much space there for Willian, but Pulisic's run here, he just does a little dart in behind and then pounces in front. Just watch his run. As you see, all the space here for Willian as well. Look at the amount of space there. It's unbelievable. All of Watford's player there, you know, it's poor defending, but Pulisic here at the bottom of your screen, just watch, there's a slight little dart behind just to take his man away, and then he nips in front in the nick of time. Great ball by Abraham as well.
And no one looks at him, you know. No one is aware of his run, that he's there, and you know, the manager's got to be so disappointed if he spends. This is what he said in his pre-match interview, that we've now limited the goals that we conceded. That means we've worked so much on keeping clean sheets and not conceding goals. And you know, had it not been for Ben Foster today, it could have been 6-7, and no one would have said anything. You know. No one would have said anything about it. The way that Watford defended today was very, very bad, and Chelsea took only sort of partly advantage of that.
Well, you were very vocal about the fact that you didn't think it was a penalty. You already mentioned it, but let's actually look at the incident first of all and talk to us about why you think this is not a penalty.
Well, first of all, when we see the ball get loose here, you know, the ball is going to the goalkeeper. He leaves it for a goal kick. See, this is what they focus on. They just focus on that touch. They don't see where the ball goes. The ball's going out of play. And they say, the Premier League says, that the touch prevented him from getting the ball. I mean, he's never going to get the ball. And it's just, I mean, for me, we get into these details. That took about a minute to go forward and backward, to be absolutely sure there was a touch. And at the end of the day, it's so minute, but can have such big influence on the game. And for me, it's not a penalty. It isn't. It's not clear and obvious in any way.
No, I think the problem I feel we've got is that we're getting to a stage whereby we're thinking a touch is a penalty. We can all see he was touched. Of course he was. I'm not denying that. But he then takes 2 or 3 strides afterwards, thinks, oh, I'm not going to get it, and then sort of semi goes down, asks for the penalty. Now, you know, if we do seem to be getting to a stage whereby touch equals penalty. Now, we check the VAR, yes, he's touched him, yes, he's impeded his stride, or whatever other phrase you want to use, and then we give a penalty. And it's a contact sport, football, and sometimes you're going to have touches. I had it a million times. I'm not saying you shouldn't go down. You know, if you get touched and you're trying to entice a challenge, that's absolutely fine. You can go down. It's your prerogative. But every time you get a little touch, now it feels like we're going to VAR and it looks like it's going to be a penalty.
Well, I think now's the perfect moment to bring in former Premier League referee Dermot Gallagher into this conversation. Hello, Derm.
Hi, Seema. How you doing?
Very well, Derm. We didn't think we were going to get to speak to you today, but it wasn't meant to be. Look, the incident, you've just heard the thoughts of both Michael and Peter. They're both on the same page here. Where do you stand?
I can understand what they mean, but Mike Dean's looked at that. When I saw it first of all, Seema, I thought goal kick. When I see the replay and what they were looking at, I can fully understand what Mike Dean's seen and what he's given, because you see the touch here, and in Mike Dean's view, and I can understand, he's taken one step forward, but he's already overrun the ball because it's run away. He's impeded his progress towards the ball, and in his opinion, it's a penalty, and he's relayed it back to Anthony Taylor, and he's duty-bound to give it.
Okay, Dermot, can I cut to the chase here? So you say you can fully understand what he's saying and what he's giving it for, but if you'd been Mike Dean today, would you have given it?
Based on the evidence I've seen at the end, Peter, yes. I think.
And how many times have you seen it?
I've seen it over and over and over again.
Yeah. How long did you spend on that?
We watched it with the VAR. We see the pictures coming in. As it's coming in, I've said he's going to give a penalty. He's caught him. We heard the commentator go from, same as I did, no penalty when he first saw it, to penalty when he's seen the replay.
Dermot, I'm just going back to right at the outset. We were always told that for the decision to be reversed, it had to be clear and obvious. So, you know, you've got people up and down the land that are probably split on this decision. I'd suggest that probably most people think it wasn't a penalty, but regardless, it's a split decision. So how can we be so sure that that is clear and obvious that it has to be given a penalty and overturned?
Right, Michael, that's an easy one to answer, actually, because it's clear and obvious to Mike Dean as a VAR, because he's seen it on the video. Anthony Taylor didn't see it. He didn't see it at all, so therefore his on-field decision was goal kick. He hasn't made a judgment on the penalty because he hasn't seen this. And that's what Mike Dean makes his judgment on, based on the fact that he can see the images that Anthony Taylor couldn't.
Okay, well, I mean, I understand what you say and what Mike Dean is saying. Of course, it's clear and obvious that there is a touch there. I'm not disputing that. But it's certainly not clear and obvious in my eyes that constitutes a penalty. That's, you know, prevented him from getting the ball. Hey-ho, that's a game of opinions, isn't it?
It really